It all started in August of 2015. I was about to turn 21 and enter my senior year in college. I had just completed my second IT internship at Walmart Corporate in Bentonville, Arkansas, and I had saved a pretty nice chunk of change. And I had a nice job offer waiting for me upon graduation. As you can imagine, I was pretty eager to buy my first car without any financial assistance from anyone else. For those of you that know me, I had two quote unquote realistic dream cars that I'm not ashamed of sharing with you guys, one being the Camaro and the other being the Corvette. I knew that if I could wait until late 2015 or early 2016, I would be one of the first to get my hands on a newly revised Gen 6 or 2016 Camaro. However, this wouldn't be a good story if I'd gotten the car that I was supposed to have gotten now, would it? You see, my impatient millennial ass ended up settling for a 2015 V6 Mustang. Sadly, having not brought either of my parents to negotiate pricing for the V6 Mustang, I paid approximately $29,000 out the door with 0% APR for 72 months for a leftover brand new 2015 V6 Mustang. With the 18-inch wheel package, it had that rear deck lid spoiler and 355 gearing. Hindsight 2020, I should have not surprised my parents and brought at least one of them along, that way I wouldn't have gotten as ripped off. I put $5,000 down and signed away what I would have believed to be the next 6 years of car payments at approximately $340 a month. I happily drove off with my bright yellow Mustang, going 40 miles home to show off to my parents and later my peers. Unfortunately, within a week's time, I got a tremendous amount of hate from all sorts of people. I had people randomly shout derogatory words for Asians, seeing as they thought I was just another one of the spoiled international students on campus. Even when I would openly speak English without an accent, they would then say something to the effect of, "Oh, figures, no wonder you have a V6 Mustang, you're just another wannabe rich ABC." Looking back now, I can safely say those comments bruised my ego badly. I had attached my worth, my self-worth, to my car. I mean, it was, to me, my pride and joy. At the time, I worked two jobs while going to school full time. I had a lot of shitty nights, days, and the one thing that kept me going was getting to blow off some steam when I got to drive my precious baby around campus or to home. Even though I had bought this car by myself, no amount of convincing others would change their perspective. It was kind of a heavy pill to swallow. So fast forward a couple months, someone in my dorm complex had intentionally dinged my rear driver's side quarter panel. That dent was about a quarter size, and it pissed me off. I didn't want to use my insurance, seeing as I thought it would be ridiculous to kind of potentially raise my insurance premiums over such a little ding. So I just wanted to pay out of pocket. The very next day, I skipped one of my classes to actually go to a Ford dealership of all places to get a quote on that ding. First mistake, by the way, don't ever take your car for any cosmetic damage to a car dealership. They're just going to end up being the middleman for some other third-party body shop. Just skip them altogether if you can and go straight to a body shop. You'll easily save a good chunk of change, trust me. So back to that little quarter-sized ding, it cost me around a whopping $760 because they had to remove the panel and the rear bumper, color match it, blah blah blah, and I had to go 4 weeks without my car because they messed up the paint the first time around. I'm not afraid to admit it now, but I was pretty irrational and obsessed with how my V6 Mustang looked. I cared so much for that car afterwards that I had purchased a car cover because I was scarred from that experience. Almost every night when I would hear a commotion going on outside my dorm room, I'd immediately check my window to see whether or not my car was okay. I literally lost sleep over this car. Fast forward into 2016, for the first half of the year, I started buying mods. I remember dropping a collective $3,000 on BBK's long tube ceramic headers, a high flow catted H-pipe. I also had a stainless steel Resonator Delete X-pipe that would then go into my Flowmaster Outlaw axle bags. I also had a few canned 93 octane tunes, a cold air intake, and I think that was it. Needless to say, I was that obnoxious V6 Mustang on campus. So going into the summer of 2016, I actually moved to Plano, Texas, took another job offer, and would start my IT career. Within a few months of attending Cars and Coffee and various Mustang meets, I once again was ridiculed for having a V6 Mustang. As you can imagine, just about everyone in the car community knows how much hate V6 muscle or pony cars get. I had an unrelenting amount of comments from Mustang GT owners in particular saying that I was driving a ladies or girls car or how I was wasting my money on a slow stang, etc. Over time, those comments really did eat away at me. Again, looking back now, I know for a certainty that part of my reasoning for purchasing a 2017 Camaro SS was to actually shut up the V6 haters. So after only 16 months of ownership, I actually traded my beloved V6 Mustang for a brand new 2017 Camaro 1SS. As you might expect with car depreciation and all, I rolled over about $2,500 in negative equity from my V6 Mustang trade-in. Out the door, my Camaro, I was sitting at about $42,000, including that rolled over negative equity. I recalled at that point my monthly car payment was about $650 a month for 72 months because I only put $2,000 down. Now, for a little while, I was finally content. I genuinely felt good about myself. I had bought the car of my dreams. It was awesome. I absolutely loved the roar of the LT1. Feeling that mighty V8 with 455 horsepower was insane. I thought that for sure this time, I was going to be happy and keep this car long term. Boy, was I wrong! Within days of attending more car meets, I started receiving different types of hateful comments such as, quote unquote, nice, you brought your daddy's ride, or slow marrow, or my favorite, get a real man's car like a Hellcat. To make matters worse and without boring you guys with my other expenses, that $650 monthly payment was starting to get really annoying. I started to realize that a lot of my peers, friends, family members were getting to spend their money on other things that I perceived to be the natural path in life. People were beginning to buy their first little homes, they were getting engaged, some were even getting married and having kids, experiencing new things, the list just went on and on. Meanwhile, I was just screwing around with my supposed dream car. I couldn't even muster up enough savings to justify purchasing a $3,000 catback exhaust system, despite badly wanting to. Anyways, after working in Plano, Texas for about 2 years, I decided to take up an opportunity with my company that I work for and help start up a new team in Phoenix, Arizona. I packed up my things and moved by May 2018. I thought to myself, surely the car scene here would be less toxic, seeing as in Texas, everyone is obsessed with stonk numbers. If you didn't run at least 700 horsepower, you ain't shit there. Spoiler alert, the Southwest and West Coast isn't much better. I mean, people over here are just downright cruel. I had people make fun of my disabled friend with a Gen 6 Camaro ZL1 simply because it was an automatic. Like, he can't even use his left leg. Come fall of 2018, I actually hit my lowest point in my life financially speaking. I had these endless internal conflicts with myself. I played out what felt like hundreds of scenarios in my head about what I should do next to financially secure myself and my girlfriend. So come December of 2018, I decided to purchase a leftover 2018 Volkswagen GTI. Once again, hindsight 2020, that was yet another stupid, no scratch that, idiotic mistake. Don't get me wrong, the GTI is a good car. I really do enjoy it, but I only purchased it because in the short term it would alleviate some of the insurance premiums, the high registration/renewal taxes that Arizona had, and gas prices. I hate myself to this day for doing this. I should have taken the bullet, swallowed that pill, and just bought a used, say, 2015 Hyundai Sonata or something boring to save money. But I cared so much about what other people would think of me. I made up, again, scenarios where I thought to myself, my subscribers or random people would lose respect for me because I would be downgrading all the way to a family sedan. So I wanted something with a little more street cred and practical for where my life was going. Hence, I joined the hatchback life. Out the door, the GTI with the rolled over negative equity from my Camaro was a spicy $29,000. And my monthly payment would be about $510 for 60 months. Now, finally heading into 2021, by May of this year, I can proudly say I will be auto debt free. I've saved up enough money to blast away the remaining debt comfortably. Finally, I've gotten to a place in my life where I am much better off financially speaking. I've gotten a couple promotions, a few raises, rented out my room for $750 a month in my house. I had some YouTube monies, of course. After nearly 6 long years, I will finally be auto debt free come this May. And truth be told, I will likely stay auto debt free for at least a year or two, or more if I like it. Priorities inevitably change as we get older, and I will openly acknowledge that I just don't think cars, at least for me, are worth my financial sanity. Given the events of 2020, I like having that financial flexibility and stability. I like traveling, and I want to have more than just one expensive hobby. I would have likely experienced and accomplished more in my early 20s had I not had a hefty car payment saddling me or setting me back. Don't get me wrong, I'm still an advocate for cars. If you have the means to do so and you really do enjoy cars, go out there and treat yourself to something nice. Get that dream car you've always wanted. Don't necessarily let this video deter you in any way. Despite everything, I still did love all three cars. The Mustang for its heritage, the Camaro checked off one of my lifelong dreams, and the GTI is a spunky little boy. Again, just don't be an idiot like myself and potentially ruin yourself financially. You never know if and when you could lose your job or main source of income and have to potentially resort to selling your car or parting it out. That would be kind of miserable. So if you made it this far into the video, some lessons to take away with you are: 1. Don't make irrational financial decisions based on emotions at the time, and especially don't buy something to feed your ego. This is arguably the hardest thing for most car guys to accept, including myself. I had to dig deep and ask myself, am I really buying this car because I genuinely enjoy or want it? Or am I buying it because I think it'll make me look cool, feel cool, etc.? Because I can tell you right now that after all those car meets, those car shows, at the end of the day, most everyone will not remember you or whatever expensive car you decided to buy. Yet you will still be stuck with that monthly bill for the next 4, 5, 6, or even 7 years. Was it and is it still really worth it to you? What are you willing to give up every single month for you to have this car? 2. The second lesson would have to be, I shouldn't have purchased a new car, let alone 3 times in a row in a short time frame. My dumbass. I wanted to strangle myself every day. Believe me, if you can buy a used car of your dreams, you'll thank yourself later when you're not stuck at home with a cup of ramen every night, even after college, although it still slaps. 3. The third lesson would have to be, hate will always exist. No matter what car you get, just love it, love yourself, and forget the hate. Seriously, there will always be a bigger car, a faster car, a more expensive car. Make your car your own and make yourself happy first. I definitely still have my preferences and will hate on some cars. That's just the natural order of things. And lastly, the fourth and final lesson would have to be, if you take anything away from this video, anything at all, it's that Miata is always the answer. Alrighty guys, thank you so much for listening to my story. Please stay tuned for more videos just like this in the coming weeks, months, whatever. Until then, peace out. Oh crap, I didn't even include my motorcycle shenanigans.